Welcome to the My Creative Days podcast, where we will talk about all things DIY, home decor, decorating tips, and creating a beautiful home on a budget. I am hoping our time together will spark a creative idea, help you plan your next DIY, or inspire you to finally tackle that project you keep putting off. Grab your favorite cup of motivation and let's chat. Happy Monday, everybody. Thank you for joining me. Today, I wanted to talk about accountability. The reason I'm talking about it today is because it came up for me. And so a lot of times when I'm thinking about things to talk about in the podcast, it's something that's happened to me or something that I needed to hear or something that I learned that would be helpful. And so this is something that helps me in a lot of areas. So I thought I would just kind of talk about it today. So accountability, let's talk about it. Since it's the beginning of the year, we all have these, people, you set out goals. Some of you may be doing resolutions. Hey, how's that going? I've never done resolutions before, but I do like to, set goals for the year and not necessarily like, I guess I'm not too strict about it and I'm not so rigid about it, but Matt and I will sit down and do goals for the year. But a big part of that, any goal, it doesn't have to be the beginning of the year. It can be any goal, is accountability. And I think a lot of times I try to go it alone. I try to carry it all alone. I try to, if it's goals for me or goals for my family or things that I'm just thinking like, I do all the budgeting and I do the money stuff. And so if I want to set a big goal, like, okay, I'm going to save this much and we're going to do this with it or whatever, I kind of put it on myself. But, and in business, if you're a creative, your mind goes like 1 billion miles an hour all the time and it's hard to shut it off and you always have ideas. And, I now have, people, on my team that I can shoot those ideas to, and we can talk about goals and things we want to do. And they help me stay accountable and they help me stay on track, which I completely need, especially in that aspect of my life. And so, I just wanted to talk to you about it today, and maybe it's something you've never thought about or something you've thought about and just never done. And I would encourage you to just try it. Just try it. So obviously you can have accountability for all kinds of things. Physical accountability, meaning, do you want to get in shape? You want to start moving more? You want to get healthier? You want to, all those kinds of things. So to have an accountability partner, so maybe it's a personal trainer, maybe it's a friend you want to walk with every day, maybe it's a husband who, you're going to report to every day what you've done or whatever. Just where it's an accountability. I feel like it's not even so you tell somebody else, but it almost makes it, it is so you tell somebody else, but it keeps you like in line because that's the whole reason behind it. You have to kind of report to somebody else. You have to, you're responsible for saying, nope, didn't do it. Nope, haven't done it all week. Nope, didn't even reach that goal. Or yes, and to some people, I think it's gonna affect you in different ways. For some people, that's gonna be the driving force. That's gonna be the thing that keeps you going or makes you not want to fail or makes you want to always do the thing that you said you were going to do. And for others, it may not. It may not. Especially, I feel like if you're doing it with your husband or your spouse or somebody you're with every day. That's a little different than if it's kind of like a friend, maybe it's a really active friend or something. And so you just want to start being more active or just start moving more. I think for me, it would make me want to do it more to that friend than if it was just Matt and I'm like, I didn't get to it today. Or, or if it's a business goal or a financial goal or whatever it is. And it's the closer they are to you, I think the easier it is to just be like, maybe not. But to push yourself with an accountability partner that maybe isn't that close, I think it might, I think it might give you kind of a different outcome or a different look on it going into it. So a lot of people will ask me about, on Instagram and things, motivation for business. And I know I do follow a lot of different accounts just all across the board on social media on social media accounts, because a lot of it's for business reasons. So I may not be like into, I can't even think of an example right now. Like clothing, let's say, okay, so like a fashion, like I am not posting anything fashion related, right? But I can appreciate a fashion influencer or a fashion like blogger or a fashion whatever, her business model or the way she runs her business, right? So I will follow different accounts like that. For the way that they're running the business or their business or for things like that, if that makes sense. But I get so I see a lot of people on like fitness accounts or workout accounts or like eating plan accounts, those kinds of things, talking about, they always get asked about motivation and how do you stay motivated to exercise, or how do you stay motivated to keep doing your business? How do you stay motivated to keep posting on Instagram? How do you stay motivated to keep producing content or, creating courses? Or it's all kind of the same. It's just a different subject. And one thing I learned, this was years ago, and I never thought about it this way, but it's not motivation. It's not motivation. You do not have like a motivated person all the time. It's dedication. It's totally different. Like, I am not motivated all the time. And there are many days when I'm like, I just want to not do anything today. I don't want to have to think about it. And it's like 7 days a week for me. But I'm dedicated to this. I love what it is I'm doing. I'm dedicated to see the progress, to see the fruits of the labor, to see the results from different things I'm doing. I'm dedicated to that. And I know if I don't stay dedicated to that, then things aren't going to work out, right? Like you set these goals no matter what they are. And if you're not dedicated to those goals, you're not going to see the end result, right? So, and motivated, many days I'm not. And a lot of the fitness people I will see, they'll say, I'm not motivated. Like today, I don't want to work out, or today, I want to eat this or whatever, but they may not be motivated, but yet they're dedicated. So two totally different things. And I was actually going to look up the definition of both before I got on here and recorded this, and I totally forgot. But I don't always have motivation, but I am dedicated to this. So it's just a big difference. And I think it's when you start thinking about that, it's okay if you're not motivated all the time. You put one step in front of the other, no matter what goal you had set, and just keep going, you will see results in the end. So I came up with some ideas or some things that for different ways to be accountable and for different ideas in your life. Like I had talked about like physical goals. So you want to move more, you want to eat better, you want to, like a friend, somebody, obviously you don't have to do the physical activity together. It's not like you have to have a walking partner, but somebody that you can, now you can text, right? How easy. So you can text, email to say, I walked for 30 minutes today. And that's all you need to do. Like you don't have to write out this big thing. It doesn't have to be a major ordeal. A good friend of yours that you're not going to see every day, and maybe they're in different parts of the country, or maybe they're on the other side of the world, but that you can text each other, email each other each day. I did my 30 minutes today. And obviously you want to be honest. And if you didn't do your 30 minutes or whatever it is, the goal that you're setting, the way you want to move or whatever, say that too, because that's part of the journey. I see a lot of people when January hit, and a lot of people are doing that 75 hard. Have you guys ever heard of that? It's like, I think I've seen different versions. You do 45-minute workouts twice a day. One has to be inside, one has to be outside. You need to, I don't know if it's you read a chapter a day or like 30 minutes a day. You have to have a gallon of water. You have to pick a diet. It doesn't have to be a specific diet, but you have to pick a diet and stay with it. I don't know. I think there's some other things, but that 75 hard, it really was popular a couple of years ago, but I see people are doing it again now. But something like that, where you set down those goals for 75 days, you're going to do this, and that you then, have somebody that you can say, I didn't do it, or I did do it. Like spiritual, obviously a Bible buddy, Bible studies, read the Bible together. Like there's tons of things. Again, you don't have to get together. I know our schedules are crazy, but to have that accountability person just doing it with you, not only can you like talk about it if you wanted to get together or wanted to hop on a phone call, but it's It's to push you to do the work, and then you're pushing them to do the work. Business. Now, I could talk about this for a while, but join a group. We here at My Creative Days, we have a few. I have my Creative Days page, but I have a free Facebook group as well. I have a monthly group. We are now starting 2 other groups this year in 2022. So there's multiple groups. Like, join a group that you can get in that are full of people that are just like you, doing what you do, trying to do what you want to do, that can totally be accountability partners. You can hire a coach. You can hire an accountability coach as well. I did a course. It wasn't really a course. How do I want to say this? It was kind of like a mastermind 2 years ago, I want to say. And part of that mastermind, there was an accountability coach. So she would touch base with us through Voxer. If you guys do not use the Voxer app, especially if you're in business, it's amazing. It's like a walkie-talkie app. I know I've talked about it here before. Check out the Voxer app. Even if you're just like have a group of friends, it's amazing. I love that thing. I talk with my team on that every day, all day long. Not really all day long, but every day. But anyway, the accountability coach would just come in once a week into Voxer and say, okay, Lindsay, you had set for this last, 7 days, you had said that you were going to do A, B, C, and D. So I'm just checking in with you to see if you have reached that, where you need help with, what else you have to go, blah, blah, blah. So there is such a thing. You can definitely hire coaches for your business for things like that. But just getting in a group, joining, taking a course that you've been waiting to take or wanting to learn more about, and then just getting into that kind of like a group, a course with other people. It's just amazing what it can do for your business. So I highly encourage you to do that if you are looking for setting some business goals this year. Family goals. So this one's kind of fun. So a lot of times, especially as our kids have gotten older, it's just busier and busier, right? And with things like sports and things that are all year round, I feel like, you can spend your entire time in the car, or it's just, your entire schedule is wrapped around these extra activities and school and all that. So I always want to try to be intentional about, like planning meals and vacations and, maybe it's date night with your husband or just some family goals, but to have a friend sit down with you to be accountable and be like, let's sit down together and let's, plan meals together. Let's, maybe we can talk vacations together. Maybe we can, somebody that's accountable. That was my chair behind me, if you heard that, because I never know how much you guys can hear when I'm like rattling my notes and stuff. That was definitely my chair behind me. But so somebody that you can get together with and plan those family activities with. Okay, so another thing I was thinking about was like family, like the inside your family, like you want to eat in more. You want to like sit down on Sunday meals, or you want to like inside your family. Be accountable to each other. Everybody in the family gets to pick the meals, or they have to help schedule the meals. They have to help with the, grocery order. They have to like make them accountable for a day or a meal or picking out the snacks on the next grocery run or whatever it is. Make them accountable. And if you all come together and you're accountable to each other, it just makes it so easy. That's a big one for me because I don't know what it is about mealtime and stuff. I've got one kid that is picky and can't have certain things in food, and the other that's like, I want to try this. It's new, but wait, it's got A, B, and C, and D in it, and this one won't eat it. And so it's not so fun planning meals and making dinner when one's really excited and the other one's like, not even going to eat it. It drives me nuts. And so I struggle with that. So making other family members kind of accountable for a meal or a couple meals a week would make that so much easier on us moms. So obviously, have accountability with your spouse on certain things. I mean, if it's moving more, if it's exercising, if it's, I know people that like to join a gym. Again, it's January, so this is all like recent things that have happened or I've heard. joined a gym with their spouse just because it's, again, more accountability. They go together. When one is not wanting to go, the other one grabs them and, they head out. But so definitely with your spouse, there's so much accountability. Obviously, finances, are you each staying on budget? You are accountable to each other. You have a certain spending, weekly spending, monthly spending. You are accountable to each other for that, because the final goal at the end is obviously your collective finances or your goals in finances. Maybe it's date night. Hello. Does anybody else? I'm going to be completely honest. As of right now, I do not remember the last time that Matt and I went out at night on our own. Literally cannot remember. We've done a lot of like coffee dates in the morning. Not really lunch dates. I mean, we run errands and stuff together on the weekends and all that, but not like a specific like date night going out. So maybe that's something you want to be accountable to each other for. You each get to plan it. You do it monthly, bi-weekly, weekly. If you can do that weekly, would you message me? Because please teach me your ways and how you're doing it. And I want all your ideas. So self-discipline is hard, right? If you're just relying on yourself. And like I said, my biggest area is I can work out, I can eat well, I like all that. But like business, I just need some help in that area, because I need to stay more focused and stay in my lane instead of always veering off and thinking of 10,000 other things to do. And so having the team behind me, just keeping me accountable for what I need to be doing, when I need to be doing it, is just a game changer for me. And so another thing to remember is to schedule some check-ins, schedule some meetings with your accountability partner. Again, it does not have to be, you have to go meet somewhere. It's got to be a 4-hour thing. Get on a Zoom call, get on a FaceTime call. Maybe it's just an email that you guys are going to do every other week or whatever, just to see how you're doing. Maybe your goal is to read more and you have a friend that wants to do the same. So you're accountable for, meeting and talking about the books you're reading. I mean, literally, this can be the ideas. I have so many of them, but make sure you kind of set some times up to talk and kind of go over what you're doing with your accountability partner. And it's going to take some effort. It's going to be some work, but having the partner or having somebody hold you accountable, hopefully is going to make it a lot more fun. I was thinking, about self-discipline, and this is kind of, I don't know, it's kind of on topic, but off topic. I was thinking the other day, and it was after we got our puppy that we got. If moms do it, most of the time the family follows. And it's not only the kids, it's usually your spouse, your husband, or how many of you have ever cut up fruit or vegetables in the fridge and they get eaten right away? Whereas if you left them just in the fridge as is, they will not even be looked at. They won't be touched. Or if you set out a snack that's healthy and whatever and put it all together, it gets eaten like crazy, right away. But if they have to go about and do it, it doesn't at all. It's like when I will just put on Hilly's leash and just get ready to walk out the door, other people will follow. Matt will do it. I don't say anything. It's just, so sometimes that self-discipline, you can be, if you do those things, your family will follow. It's happened in so many other ways. And I won't get into all of that, but I just had that in my notes here because it's like, it's amazing when you set the tone, you set the goal, and then you can help other people reach those goals or reach the same things right along with you. So that's why I was thinking of that when I was thinking about this accountability talk, because it works. It works. And if you have never tried that, try that tomorrow. Try that today. Just cut up the good stuff that's in the fridge that always just gets looked over, because your family does not want to. Hilly is having puppy dreams underneath my desk right now. If you guys can hear her, she makes the weirdest noises sometimes when she's sleeping. So anyway, that was kind of a side note. Sorry about that. But so that's kind of all I wanted to talk about, because it's come up to me, for me. It's been a game changer for me in certain areas in my life. When you want to slack, your accountability partner is going to push you. And the same for them when they are, even when you're not feeling it, right? So like you may wake up one day, let's just because this is the easiest one. You don't want to get up and walk, right? And so you wake up and maybe, and I always think this is a good thing too. If you want to do it early in the morning, so let's say you have an accountability friend or whatever, you need to text each other. I don't sleep with my phone in my bedroom. I plug it in the kitchen and let it go at a certain time at night. But if you take your phone to your bedroom, they have to text you or you have to text them at wake up time, 5:30 a.m. You each get a text. So no matter what, I'm heading out or let's go walking, whatever it is. Again, you don't have to be together to walk. It's just that you're being accountable to each other. But it's funny when you wake up at that 5:30 wake up call and it's like, oh my gosh, I just don't want to do it today. And then your friend will message you and just be like, I am so not in the mood. What is it about ourselves that we want to pump up that friend and we want to push that friend? Like, yes, you're going to get up today. Yes, you're going to do this today. I know you're not feeling it. And granted, you woke up feeling that same way. Like, I'm not doing this today. And you won't give yourself that same like discipline and that same, like pep talk. But yet when you're not feeling it, but a friend isn't, you're going to talk her up or him up and make sure that he does that. It's so weird. So it's just an extra, not only are you helping yourself, but you're going to help somebody else who you are partnering with. So I was just making sure I got through all of my notes. That's basically everything I wanted to talk about. Try it if you've never, and just try it easily. So try it with your spouse or, something with your kids that you want to do. Just try it close to home to make it easier and doable right off the bat. But I am telling you, it'll be a game changer in whatever aspect of your life you're wanting to grow, learn more, do better. It'll be a big difference. And if you do try it, if after you listen to this, if you try it, will you please, you can email me, Lindsay at mycreativedays.com. You can reach out to me on Facebook, Instagram. I would love to hear it because it's been, like I said, in a couple areas in my life, it's really been a game changer and it's just so helpful. So, okay, guys, I hope your 2022 is off to a good start and I will talk to you again next Monday. Hello, friends. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I'm grateful that you tune in every week and that you share the show with your family and friends. I love having creative chit chats with you, and my hope is that this podcast will inspire you to try a new project, start a DIY that you've been putting off, and decorate your home exactly how you want it. There are a few ways you can help us with the podcast. Follow the podcast so you don't miss an episode. And if you could take a few minutes to leave the podcast a review, that would help us so much. Again, thank you for being here, and I look forward to our chat next week. Bye-bye.